My name is Eva Poss. I'm 31 years old, and 7 months before everything collapsed, I said yes to a man I thought would eventually become my husband. His name was Caleb Mercer. He was 28, studying for a master's degree in marketing, and everyone said we were one of those couples that looked solid from the outside. We lived together, shared grocery lists, argued about laundry, talked about wedding venues while brushing our teeth. Normal things. Fake things, apparently. We'd been together for 2 years and living together for 1. I worked in software sales. The job paid well enough that I could afford the downtown apartment, weekend trips, and the kind of stability that makes other people comfortable depending on you. Caleb had quit his retail job to focus on school full-time. The arrangement was simple. I covered rent, utilities, food, and I offered to pay his tuition around $22,000 each semester. People later asked why I would spend that much on someone I wasn't married to. Because love makes expensive decisions feel reasonable, at least until it doesn't. 3 weeks before spring tuition was due, I came home early from a client meeting that got canceled. It was around 2 in the afternoon. I had a pounding headache and wanted silence. Instead, I got the sentence that destroyed my engagement. I walked inside quietly. Caleb's shoes were by the door. Strange, he should have been on campus. I heard him laughing from our bedroom. The door was cracked open. "No, I'm serious," he said. I stopped walking. The second semester payment goes through, and I'm out. My body froze before my brain did. He laughed again. "She's completely clueless," a woman's voice answered through the speaker. Not loud enough to understand the words. Loud enough to know it wasn't a classmate. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "Yeah, babe. Obviously, I tell her I see a future. What else am I supposed to say?" "Babe." Not me. Someone else. My fingers tightened around my keys. Caleb kept talking. "The ring? I'll sell it. She spent a fortune on that thing. Should get at least $8,000. The woman laughed. I recognized it then. Lana, his ex-girlfriend. The one he swore was ancient history. Caleb lowered his voice. "Look, I need the degree first. Your residency starts in 6 months. Once tuition clears, I'm done pretending." Pretending. Not struggling. Not confused. Pretending. I stood there listening, while the man I planned to marry discussed me like a temporary scholarship program. He kept going. "January 18th. That's the payment deadline. After that, I'm done playing house." Playing house. I remember staring at the bedroom door, thinking something dramatic should happen. People always cry in movies, or scream, or throw things. Instead, I felt cold, not sad, not angry, cold. I backed away slowly, left the apartment, got in my car, and sat there for almost an hour. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every memory suddenly looked fake. Every "thank you," every "I love you," every time he kissed my forehead after I transferred money into our account. Around 5 o'clock I went back upstairs. Normal time, normal face, normal girlfriend. Caleb stood in the kitchen cooking. "Hey, beautiful," he said. "How was work?" "Long day." He smiled. "Chicken stir-fry. Your favorite." I stared at him. He was wearing the hoodie I bought him for Christmas, using the cookware I paid for, standing inside the apartment under my name, smiling. I walked over and kissed his cheek. "Smells good." That night was torture. We ate dinner, watched television. He rested his head against my shoulder, played with my fingers, asked if I was okay because I looked tired. I wanted to laugh. Instead, I nodded. Around midnight, while he slept beside me, I stared at the ceiling and made decisions. The next morning, I started quietly preparing. First call, the jeweler. "Do you accept returns on engagement rings?" Custom pieces qualify for store credit only, around 60% value. The ring cost me $11,200. Not 3 months' salary like Caleb bragged. Still enough to hurt. Second call, mid-bank. I asked about stopping scheduled payments. The banker paused. You haven't submitted the tuition transfer yet. I closed my eyes. Perfect. Nothing to stop. Nothing committed. Third step? Documentation. I wrote everything down. Date, time, words, exact phrases. The second semester payment goes through, and I'm out. Done pretending. Done playing house. For 2 weeks, I performed normal, which turned out to be harder than heartbreak. Caleb got sweeter, more affectionate, more attentive, almost like he could smell money getting closer. At dinner with his parents that Saturday, his mother smiled across the table. So when are you two finally setting the wedding date? Caleb squeezed my hand. We're thinking fall. I smiled back. Hopefully. His father pulled me aside later. You're good for him, Eva. Supporting school like this? Not many women would. I just want him to succeed. And I meant it. I did want him to succeed. Just not using me as the staircase. January 17th arrived. 1 day before tuition was due. Caleb sat beside me on the couch. Did you submit the payment yet? Tomorrow. His smile flickered. Can you do it tonight? Deadline's tomorrow night. I know. I'm just nervous. I looked at him. Really looked. The man I loved had spent weeks counting down to the exact moment he could leave me. I've got it, I said. He relaxed instantly. Seriously? He whispered, kissing my forehead. I don't know what I'd do without you. I smiled. Neither did I, but we were about to find out. January 18th. Tuition deadline day. I woke up before sunrise. Caleb was asleep beside me, stretched across my side of the bed, like he belonged there. Like the last 2 years had been real. Like 6 hours from now, he wouldn't be begging me for money while planning a future with someone else. I got dressed quietly, leaned down, kissed his forehead. Love you, he mumbled half asleep. You too. The lie tasted strange. I didn't go to work, called in sick. Drove to a coffee shop 20 minutes away and sat there with a coffee turning cold in my hands while replaying that phone call for the 1,000th time. By noon, my emotions had disappeared again. Cold, clear, useful. Around 3, I drove home. Fridays meant Caleb's study group ended around 5. Perfect timing. I packed 1 duffel bag first. Laptop, passport, work files, jewelry, important documents. Then, I opened closets and drawers, realizing something strange. I had spent years building a life with someone while quietly turning myself into storage space for them. His sweaters, his textbooks, his coffee mugs, his future. By 5:30, I was sitting on the couch waiting. At 5:47 p.m., the apartment door opened. Hey! Caleb smiled, walking in. You're home early. Yeah. How was work? Short day. He dropped his backpack. How was study group? Good. Productive. Lie. Maybe truth. Didn't matter. Then it came. The question. So, he said carefully, did you submit the tuition payment? Not yet. His expression tightened slightly. The deadline's tonight. I know. A pause. Then he smiled again. Can you do it now? I folded my hands together. Sure. He relaxed instantly. But first, we need to talk. His face changed. Tiny shift. Almost invisible. About what? About the fact that you're planning to leave me the second tuition clears. Silence. Real silence. Not television silence. Not awkward silence. The kind where a room suddenly feels too small. What? I heard you 3 weeks ago. His eyes moved, not to me. To the hallway. To the bedroom. Back to me. I don't know what you mean. You telling Lana you were done pretending. You calling me clueless. Talking about selling the ring. mentioning your backup plan. His color disappeared. That conversation was what? Taken out of context. I almost laughed. Okay, give me context. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. I was venting. To your ex-girlfriend. She's just a friend. The one doing residency? Direct hit. His face answered before his mouth did. Ava. No. He stood up. You were listening outside doors? In my apartment. You invaded my privacy. I stared at him. He really thought this was his strongest argument. You were planning your exit strategy while wearing my ring. I didn't mean it like that. You gave a date, Caleb. His breathing changed. Faster now. Look, okay. I said stupid things. I was stressed. You said you were pretending. I didn't mean pretending. You said done playing house. His voice cracked. Please stop repeating it. I stood. We're done. His eyes widened. What? I'm not paying your tuition. Everything changed. The panic was immediate. No. Yes, the deadline is tonight. I know. You can't do this. Actually, I could, and that terrified him. He started pacing, hands shaking. This isn't funny. I'm not joking. I'll lose my classes. You should have thought about that. His voice got louder. You promised. I promised someone I thought loved me. His breathing became uneven. No, 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 no. Then came the tears. Real tears. Or useful tears. I couldn't tell any more. Ava, please. I stayed quiet. I'm sorry. Quiet. I love you. Quiet. I'll block Lana. Quiet. We can do counseling. Quiet. Finally he broke. Please, just submit the payment first, and then we can figure this out. There it was. Not us. The money. Always the money. You love my wallet, I said softly. His shoulders dropped. That's not fair. Neither was the phone call. He grabbed my arm. I'll do anything. I pulled away. I want you out by Sunday. His face emptied. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe Lana can help. That hurt him. Good. I picked up my bag. He followed me to the door, crying now, actually crying. You're ruining my future. I turned around. No, Caleb. I looked directly at him. You built your future assuming I'd fund your escape. Then I left. Inside my car, my hands started shaking for the first time all day. Not because I missed him, because it was over. My phone exploded before I even reached the freeway. Calls, texts, voicemails. 30, 40, more. I turned it off. Me older sister, Valerie, opened her apartment door an hour later. You okay? No. What happened? I told her everything. The phone call, the timing, the tuition, the breakup. She listened quietly, then whistled. Damn. Yeah, you know what's crazy. What? You waited 3 weeks. I needed certainty. She nodded slowly. That wasn't certainty. What was it? Valerie grabbed another slice of pizza. Strategy. Around midnight, curiosity won. I turned my phone back on. 72 messages. 36 missed calls. Most from Caleb, some from his mother. The texts started desperate. Please answer. I'm begging you. Then angry. You ruined everything. Then bargaining. I'll pay you back. Then cruel. You're heartless. His mother's messages were simpler. You made a commitment. My son is hysterical. This is financial abuse. Call immediately. I blocked both numbers. Saturday passed quietly. Sunday morning, an unknown number texted. I moved out. Took my stuff. Thanks for nothing. I stared at the message, then drove home. The apartment was emptier. His clothes gone. Shoes gone. Books gone. But not everything, because Caleb apparently believed betrayal worked better with theft. My PlayStation was missing. My headphones. A watch my grandmother gave me. Several small things that suddenly added up. And the engagement ring box. Empty. I stood in the center of my apartment looking at the spaces where my things used to be. Then I took photos. Every room. Every shelf. Every empty spot. Because if Caleb wanted to keep playing games, I was done playing nice. I stood in the middle of my apartment taking photos of empty shelves and half-open drawers while something strange happened. I stopped feeling sad. Anger is useful that way. I made a list. PlayStation. Headphones. My grandmother's watch. A gold bracelet from college. The ring. Total value? More than enough to make this annoying. I texted him from a temporary number. Return my property within 24 hours, or I file a police report. 3 minutes later. Sue, me. That one message changed everything. Monday morning before work, I filed the report. The officer was polite but realistic. Shared living situations make theft cases messy. So, what do I do? Small claims is probably faster. Fine. Small claims. I filed paperwork that afternoon. Court date. March 15th. $150 filing fee. Worth every cent. Then the harassment started evolving. Friends I barely knew messaged me. His cousin called me cruel. A former classmate wrote, "Real women support their partners. Funny." Nobody seemed interested in asking why their partner needed a secret exit strategy and a backup girlfriend. Tuesday morning, I got an unexpected call. The jeweler. "Miss Poss." "Yes?" "Someone attempted to return your engagement ring yesterday." My stomach tightened. "Caleb?" "Yes. We informed him only the purchaser could process returns." "What happened?" "He became upset and left with the ring." "Of course he did. Even after everything, he still thought the ring was his. That afternoon, I called my cousin Renee. She practiced family law and enjoyed conflict slightly too much. "Ring's yours," she said immediately. "Even engagement rings?" "Conditional gift. No wedding, no ring." "What about tuition? Did you sign anything?" "No." "Then congratulations. You discovered boundaries." For the first time in weeks, I laughed. Wednesday brought emails. From Caleb's school account. "You destroyed my future." I had to drop classes. My advisor keeps asking questions. "How could you do this?" Then, "You knew how important this semester was." Then, "I still love you." Then, "Please." I forwarded every message to Renee. Her response, "Keep collecting evidence. Let him talk." Thursday. An envelope appeared in my mailbox. Legal letterhead. Formal language. Demanding $22,000 for promised tuition. $11,200 for emotional damages. Return of shared assets. My stomach dropped for exactly 30 seconds. Then I noticed spelling mistakes. The law firm address led to an empty lot. I called Renee laughing. "This is fake, right?" "Extremely." "So what now?" "Save it. Impersonating lawyers is stupid." Friday night, someone pounded on my apartment door. Hard. I checked the peephole. Caleb's father. I didn't open it. "I know you're in there." "Please leave. You owe my son that money." "No, you made commitments." "And he made plans with another woman." Silence. Then louder knocking. I called the police. 10 minutes later, officers arrived. I finally opened the door. One officer asked the obvious question. "Did you sign an agreement?" "No." He nodded. Then turned to Caleb's father. "This is civil. Leave." His father looked at me like I had destroyed his family. Maybe because it was easier than admitting his son had done that himself. The officer paused before leaving. "You may want to consider harassment documentation." "I already have folders." "Good. Folders. Plural." That became my life. Screenshots, emails, unknown numbers, messages, dates. By February 1st, Caleb officially sued me. Not for tuition. Probably because someone finally explained contracts to him. Instead, shared property. He claimed items in the apartment belonged to him. Items he had stolen. The audacity almost impressed me. Renee filed our counterclaim immediately. Return stolen property. Return ring. Compensation if items missing. Court arrived faster than expected. March 15th. Caleb showed up with his mother and a family friend pretending to understand law. He looked different. Thinner. Tired. His confidence was gone. Good. The judge looked exhausted before speaking. Caleb went first. Claimed I withheld belongings. Claimed I manipulated him. Claimed the breakup blindsided him. Then Renee stood. Photos. Receipts. Purchase records. Insurance documentation. Pictures of my grandmother's watch inscription. Then she held up the ring paperwork. Conditional gift. The judge nodded. Simple. Clean. Over. Caleb tried one last time. She promised tuition. Written agreement? The judge asked. No. Then irrelevant. 10 minutes later. Ruling. Return ring. Return stolen property. Or pay approximately $13,000. His claims dismissed. Costs split. Outside court, his mother cornered me. Happy now? I looked at her. Really looked. This woman had watched her son lie, manipulate, threaten, and steal. Yet somehow I was still the villain. I didn't ruin him. She scoffed. He loved you. Before I could answer, Caleb spoke quietly. First time since court started. You really never cared? I almost laughed, because that question hurt more than the cheating, more than the lies. After everything, he still thought the problem was lack of love. I cared enough to pay your bills, I said. I cared enough to build a future. I looked directly at him. You just cared more about your exit plan. He looked away. 2 weeks later, everything arrived in one cardboard box. The ring, my watch, my headphones, everything. No note, no apology. I sold the ring the next day. $9,200. Not what I paid. Enough. I used part of the money for something I hadn't done in years. I disappeared. 1 week alone. No calls. No manipulation. No countdowns. When I came back, my sister asked the question everyone eventually asked. Any regrets? I thought about it. About January 18th, 5:47 p.m. Hours before the deadline. Perfect timing. Petty timing. Necessary timing. Sometimes, I admitted. About leaving him? No. Then what? I looked around my apartment. Mine again. Quiet again. About not trusting myself sooner. 6 months later, I got promoted. Started dating again slowly. Very slowly. Mutual friends say Caleb still talks about me. Still says I destroyed his future. Maybe that helps him sleep. Because the truth is simpler. He planned to use me as a stepping stone. He just forgot stepping stones can move.